Hello, I am Maxine and this is my husband Ken and we are the Reyes. On today's Dialogue and Delicacies, the Happily Joint edition, we will be answering a viewer's question. And the viewer is Carolina Altamarina. She is from California and she placed a question on our Facebook page, and the question is, how do you make long distance relationships work? And so we have fundamentals that we believe are extremely important when it comes to having a long distance relationship. So the first one is communication, and not just communication, clear communication.
Yes, clear, concise
communication.
Yes, between both people, not just one.
Right. And also, so communicating your commitment to each other during this time apart, and also your expectation management.
Absolutely. So, communication is key. I think everyone understands that, whether we're talking about business or personal relationships, but especially long distance commitments, because, everyone has the feeling of love. Oh, I love you. Oh, you're so beautiful. I want to see you forever and ever. But once they start racking up the cost of staying in touch, flights, airfares,
phone calls,
Skyping, and also the time zone differences, and just the wear and tear of not being there and trying to reach your partner, and then they're not there to answer because they're in California and you're in New York, or you're in Afghanistan and you're back in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So communicating your commitment has to be important. Do you want a serious relationship? In my personal opinion, no long distance relationship can last if
you're not serious.
Yeah, both partners are not serious. If you just want something for the weekends or whenever you are in town, then why even have a relationship that's supposedly long distance? Just have that buddy that you can call on with benefits when you need it. But so I would challenge the men not to even lead a woman on if they're not committed to that woman 100%.
Right. And then
because I know I was. Because when I met, I apologize for cutting you off.
That's okay.
But I was so crazy about Maxine. I still am, but I was so enamored by her when I wanted the long distance relationship that I had to convince her that I was actually committed, and
he was the one.
That I was the one. And so, but it took a lot of communication, because my wife had due to her wisdom, she was like, hesitant to believe me because I was a man and I was a young man.
No, we were young. We were both young at the time.
Yeah, we was very young. Yeah. So communicating that commitment has to be important, and you have to understand that there's costs involved.
Yes, and we were young and not making a lot of money, but we were spending a lot of money on phone calls because we were committed. So, and another example I can share is when you were in Afghanistan. We were married by then, but I was spending $400 a month.
Do not recommend that.
Yeah, on phone calls, and sometimes he would call me collect because that's the only way to get in touch with me. But because of our commitment to each other, that was important for me to answer those phone calls, those collect calls that came in. Because you never know. If he's in Afghanistan, if I'm not talking to him and giving him my time, then if something happens, that's gonna break my heart.
But most people aren't in Afghanistan,
right?
But you just gotta make a clear commitment of what exactly you're offering long distance.
Yeah, and what you're both willing to do when it comes to cost and in communicating. So the next,
it just leads because it only leads to hurt feelings.
Right. If you're not clear.
Because of expectation management.
Right.
Just wanted you can lead off that.
Yeah. For me, for us both, it makes sense. And so communicating is one, and then having mutual trust while you're apart, that's another expectation management item that should be discussed within a long distance relationship.
Right, because expectation management clearly defines how serious we are about one another.
Absolutely.
Are we committed? Do we have an open relationship? We're
going to be dating while we're apart?
Exactly, which I don't recommend.
Right. So really that is not a commitment.
Yeah, it's not a commitment. So then it's not a long distance relationship,
right.
So why even frame it as such? But that's just, a bit old fashioned. So.
Makes sense. And then know that when you're apart, your physical intimacy is going to be different because you're not physically together. Right. So that's something else you guys have to discuss and see where, you know.
Are you gonna take advantage of Skype or FaceTime? Or are we just gonna, you know, venture out and have couples that physically, this is what the man typically does. Oh, I just want to see other people while I'm away from you. But I'm telling you, that stuff does not work. It doesn't work in the movies, it doesn't work in the magazines, it doesn't work in the books, and it does not work in life.
Period.
It doesn't work. Either, I would recommend either to the men watching, either gotta commit to the woman or just
cut it off.
Cut it off. Now, if you're in town and she answers your phone, that's different. You know, you can hook that up. But I mean, just don't pretend to have a commitment, because it just adds up. You know, that once goes into expectation management.
Yes, you both have to be right here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then actually the holidays and the weekends, we're gonna talk about that.
So for us, we are committed to being together on all holidays, as long as we are. Even when we're deployed, we try to tailor our R&R when we had it.
Which is
around the
holidays. Which are the little vacations that they give you from
rest and recuperation. Yeah.
It's crazy to think about it.
So we usually tailor that around the holidays. Like
yes.
Mine was around Christmas time, so we met up in Hawaii.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, anniversaries,
and birthdays too.
And birthdays.
Yeah.
So to put it back on our viewers, if you're going to be in a long distance relationship, those key holidays, I would recommend that you have to keep those special. Which gets tricky when you have other families and other lives, because you're really still living two separate lives, but yet you're trying to, on the fringes, keep them together. With, I imagine, with hopes of having those bubbles overlap permanently.
Right.
So yeah, those holidays. I mean, if you're spending that Valentine's Day with that birthday with someone else, you're establishing that someone else or something is a higher priority than that person. And when you're in a long distance relationship, it doesn't take much to frazzle those bonds and have them break.
And trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trust. So I mean, definitely you're gonna have to commit those holidays and special days to one another, I say.
Absolutely. So Carolina, I hope we answered the question for you. And I hope you got the answers that you wanted.
Wanted.
That you wanted.
Well, sometimes you don't get what you want.
You don't get what you want, but yeah. But you got the point. You got the gist of what will definitely make a long distance relationship work, because for us, that's
work for us.
Yeah,
work for us. This is what we did to keep us happily engaged, happily married, and happily joint for 21 years.
Yes, and believe it or not, like right now I'm visiting my husband.
Yeah.
So we are doing that long distance thing right now, and as he mentioned in the previous episode, we have not lived together under the same roof for going on 5 years now.
Yes.
Right? So of course it's going to take a lot for us, a lot of commitment for us to make it work, and we have been making it work. So I'm on a 2-week vacation with my husband and our daughter, and you know, we're definitely taking advantage of all the moments that we have together, and that's what you have to do. You have to make the time to see each other, fly back and forth if you need to, and just make it work. If you really want it, you will commit to it and make it work.
That's well said.
Thank you, baby. So in the meantime, go forth with courage and grace, and
make happiness
last.
Why you told me that? I was perfect.
Okay.
That's what you say. Bye.
Bye.